everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. And we are going to be talking about how to elevate sales and with Amazon Video Mastery. And we've got Video Fresh here. And I'm Kristen Hutcherson. I'm the partnership manager with Ecom Engine. And Ecom Engine has been in business since 2007. We have a variety of tools, Feedback 5, Seller Pulse, and Restock Pro. And I'm going to turn it over to introduce Rob. Rob's the CEO and founder of Video Fresh, and we'll let him take it away. And for everyone that's here, stay tuned. After the webinar, we'll be sending out an email with some special offers and the recording as well. So, and feel free to ask any questions along the way. We do want this to be interactive, so we'll keep an eye on the chat or the questions and get those answered for you along the way. So hi, Rob, how are you?
Hey, great. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Yeah, like you said, I'm with Video Fresh. It's a company I started back in 2016, and we're really focused on helping Amazon sellers increase traffic and conversions using video. Like, video is all we do. It's in the name. And the reason I'm so passionate about this topic is because it remains one of the most underappreciated and most overlooked opportunities for brands to do so many things. Like, video is such a powerful medium. It's the most powerful medium we have, really. Like, in terms of when you look at all the ways of communicating, a video can convey emotion. It communicates better than other things. It's a better communication tool. People prefer to watch a video to learn about products and all this sort of thing. So Amazon sellers are starting to learn how to think about video in a way that is more advanced. And it's kind of what we saw on social media maybe 10 years ago, how people kind of didn't know what to do with video on social. Brands were figuring it out. And now there's a very, very sophisticated methodology for video on social. Amazon's at the early stages of that. Amazon sellers are still just kind of throwing stuff against the wall. And so if you're someone that really does have a good framework, you're just going to get out ahead of your competition. It's kind of a short-term opportunity, I would say, too. So I'm just really excited to, kind of have a dialogue here about all that stuff. I've got a lot of stuff to share, and we can answer questions and all that.
Well, we're super excited that you're here. So I guess my first question would be, what kind of mistakes are most sellers making on Amazon when it comes to their video content?
Yeah, there's three big mistakes. And I bring it up because it's still really common. Number one is no video, right? Your product just has no video content at all. That's a big mistake, because Amazon Ads did their own research on this, and I can share references to where their articles and stuff after this. But you get Amazon did their own study. You get a 9.7% increase in conversions by having a video on your page, as opposed to not having a video on your page. I mean, it's like a conversion multiplier, just having it. Not everyone's going to get 9.7, but that was an overall average of what they saw. If you just don't even have a listing video at all on your page, you're just leaving money on the table, essentially. And that video, it doesn't even matter. Any video is better than no video. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if this particular product is worth investing a piece of video content, it's well, you took the time to make the page, get the product, figure out all the supply chains, everything, all the market research. You did so much work to get that product up there. Just get some video content on there, because it's gonna multiply that all your efforts up to that point. But we've done our own studies, and right now the vast majority, I mean, it's kind of astounding how many products have no video at all. It's the vast majority of products on Amazon, to the tune of our study showed it's less than 10% of all products on Amazon have a video on the page. And that's because there's a lot of products that have maybe been up for years and years and years, and people don't always refresh. But that's number one, is no video. The second one is really just kind of bad video. And what I mean by that is it's such a low quality piece of content that it just, maybe your photography looks great, your product looks great, your brand looks great, but your video is just this weak link in your branding and in your communications, because it does take a lot to do video well. And so just having a piece of content that's just not up to best practices. It's not clearly communicating. It's not grabbing attention. And all this stuff we'll talk about
So you're
after.
not talking about quality, are you? Or you're talking like, does video quality
Yeah,
matter, or you just want to have good video? I mean,
yeah, like effective video. Like, so there's kind of two sides of quality. There's like quality, like how well does this video do the job it's supposed to do, right? So how well does this video grab attention? So people even watch it in the first place. How well does this video communicate the features and benefits? How well does this video hold your attention so someone's going to stick around? And then the other aspect, like you're saying, is just the sheer production quality. Like, is the video just look bad? And like, it just
right.
is not worthy of this awesome product that you have, right? You know, if your product is great, you should have a video that, you know, that doesn't mean you need to spend huge amounts of money on video production, but it does mean that you need to, you know, put that video together with, you know, thoughtfully, and at least have it not be totally an unprofessional piece of content, you know, or like
Right.
just an amateur looking piece of content. And that is what we see on Amazon right now, because it's hard for people to always know how to go about that, or you know, that we can talk more about how people can make their own videos that are good quality. So I've got some tips on that. And then the last one is just like the wrong video content, and we'll talk more about this too. But basically, what that means is maybe the video is like put together well and it does good communication, but it's not the right piece of content at the right stage of the journey. So for example, a sponsored brands video ad is awesome because someone is searching actively, they're typing in a keyword, they're like trying to buy a product like right now. Intent could not be higher for a sponsored brands video ad. Your customer is typing in the name of the you know, a keyword, trying to find your product, and that ad that comes up has a huge potential to outperform everything else on that search result page if you know what you're doing. And what I see a lot of people doing is they're basically using the video that they would also maybe post on their listing page. It's like a full length ad with a lot of information. It's very dense. That is not the best type of ad to be a sponsored brands video ad. So that's the other mistake we see, is maybe someone has a great piece of video content, but they're like using it in the wrong places. It's not really helping them on that customer journey at that point in the funnel. So we'll go into like all those details, but those are the three big mistakes that are super common that we see.
Because you mentioned sponsored ads and brand ads, and I'm curious why they're so effective as an ad type.
Yeah, so I am the biggest fan of these ads ever, because if you think about it, it's like the only place on the internet. If someone knows of another place, I would love to know. It seems like it's the only place on the internet, especially in a shopping context, where someone's typing in a keyword for a product, and you can make any video and pair it up with any set of keywords. That is like insanely powerful. And there's not really anywhere else on the internet you can do that, especially in a shopping context. Now you could say, well, like, you know, YouTube does have like keyword driven ads and campaigns like that, but they're not shopping on YouTube, right? I suppose Walmart is coming up with a you know, has a similar product as well, and other e-commerce stores will. But I mean, Amazon sponsored brands video ads is such a huge opportunity. And I think a lot of people run those ads and don't see a positive ROI. And I think that doesn't speak to the fact that they're ineffective. It speaks to the fact that there probably wasn't a great strategy there. I think that it's an incredibly powerful, so I would say that what we hear from sellers, and I'd be interested to hear other people's feedback if there's sellers in here, that it's probably the second most effective ad type, just below like sponsored products, because I know sponsored products is extremely effective. Sponsored brands video ads done right should be coming up like number 2, as the source of traffic, you know, in your ads and things like that. So incredibly powerful. And there's a lot of strategy that we've developed over the last few years. Me and my company are really, we're still like miles out ahead of even most other agencies, definitely other video production companies, in putting that methodology together. And so I think 5 years from now, a lot of what we're talking about right now is going to kind of it's going to kind of become more common knowledge, but I'm excited to share more about that strategy.
Yeah, we'd love to see some examples and your strategy behind it all.
Yeah. So yeah, I can go into a deep dive into this, and this is kind of like I'm not sure, this is a little more of an advanced strategy, but I think people are probably ready to hear this. So one of the things we like to do is rather than just make a video, throw it up on your sponsor brand, make some campaign with all your keywords and just like cross your fingers and hope that your video ad is going to work. We want to take a step back and ask and think like the customer in that moment. So what we find is for most products, you have your short tail, excuse me, you have your short tail keyword, which is just your the name of your product category. But then you have a lot of long tail keywords, and a good example would be the example I just use out of the blue is like a duffel bag. If you have like a duffel bag that is foldable or something and it folds up and it zips up, right? If someone is typing in foldable duffel bag, if they're going through the trouble to type foldable in that keyword, then they really want foldable. And what they're doing when they're searching all the options is they're like, where's the foldable one, right? So you have to think like your products probably have something like that. If you're a seller, there's probably these long tail details. And if your customer's typing that in, that's because they really care about that feature and they're trying to validate that on all these search results, that is the case with these products. And a lot of the time, that listing video, that listing photo with the white background can't demonstrate some of those long tail keywords, but a video can. So those are really interesting opportunities where if you can build a keyword set where you're like, hey, none of my competitors listing photos can validate this thing that people are searching for. But the first shot of my sponsored brands video can demonstrate that. And they're going to click on that because it's the only way of validating that. So for example, like foldable duffel bag, that opening shot should be like, it's folding, zip, zip, zip. And someone's going to go, yep, there's the foldable one. Great. And then click through. And we work with hundreds of sellers, and there's always these little opportunities that we find. So then what you do is you just build a campaign around that search intent, and then you make that video. So maybe you're making 3, 4, 5 different campaigns, each with their own video paired up with those that are just, and in every one of those 5 cases, the video has an edge over all of the other search results that you're going to see on that page. So that's a very cool strategy that anyone can do. And it doesn't actually take a lot to have these different variations of your videos. A lot of times it's the opening shot. Maybe you've got some different opening text on there. Maybe you've got maybe you're kind of like rearranging the shots. Most of it can kind of be done in the editing process, making these different versions. And so, and I do have some examples of that I can pull up. So.
Great. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, video content is going to matter on how effective it is on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also kind of stalling here while I pull something up. But yeah, does anyone? I wonder if anyone has any questions at this point.
I don't see any listed right now.
Yeah, I can just keep rolling.
No open questions.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about the different kinds of videos that these sellers should be considering for their marketing. So,
sure.
Yeah, fill us in.
Yeah. So I can kind of circle back on that strategy too. But in terms of different kinds of videos, so the other thing we like to talk about is something called the product utility spectrum. So this is kind of another thing that we've come up with, but it's really interesting when you're thinking about to answer the question, what kind of video should you be making, right? So, and I've got that pulled up right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'll share just kind of this whole screen here, but this is kind of an interesting concept. This is from an old Prosper Show presentation, if that's okay. But this is like a very interesting, if I go full screen here, is that going to be better? How's that? Can you guys all see that?
Yep, we can see that.
Okay. So we think there is a way to come up with, to have a methodology of saying what kind of video should you make. So there's a bunch of kinds of product videos. One kind would be like an explainer video. So an explainer video, maybe you actually have a person and they're talking and they're like, this is this product and here's what it does and here's the features and benefits of the product. On the other side, you have what's called like a sizzle video. And a sizzle video is, and I'll show examples of both of these. Basically, a sizzle video is much more, it's fast paced. It's lots of, energy in the editing, and it's really just showing off the product, but it's less educational, and it's more, it's just more eye candy, right? And you say, well, how do I know what type of video to do? And I would say, where does your product lie on the product utility spectrum? Because on one end, you have things that are extremely aesthetic. These are like want products. So these are products that they don't actually serve tons of function. They are just something, and they're not really something that anybody needs, but they're really cool, right? And a lot of people have products like this. A good example would be this fake bonsai tree I have right here on my desk. This bonsai tree sits on my desk, and it looks like a cool bonsai tree, and it doesn't do anything, right? But it's very cool, and I spent like too much money on this. So that's an aesthetic product. So the opposite of that would be this microphone that I have, which is extremely utilitarian. It does a job, and I need to know about all the features and benefits of this product. So most products are somewhere, a lot of products are like in the middle, right? So a good example would be like a chair, like behind me, that chair. It needs to look cool, and it needs to be comfortable and ergonomic. So what I would do is I would think, okay, where do your products lie on this spectrum? You can see I've given a lot of examples here. If you have an extremely aesthetic product, then you want to do more of a sizzle video, which is a video that's really just showing off the product and appealing to emotion. So you want to create a video that appeals more to your desire for the product. If you're on the far end, like let's say you have like a socket wrench set, and that's what you're selling. The video content for that is very utilitarian. So people really just want to know everything about that set. You really want to educate them and say, what is, how many pieces does it come with? How many, like what can it do? What is it made of? They want to know everything about that socket wrench set, as opposed to, you don't really need to appeal to too much desire for the socket wrench set, because this is something people need, not want. And so I can share a couple examples of.
Hey, Rob, we do have some questions that have popped in
yay.
too. Do you want to answer the questions before you go on, or do you have a better stopping point?
Yeah. Oh, hey, my old engineering professors is in here.
Oh,
that's
is he one of the
for me.
questions? Okay. All right. Well,
That's very
I'll
exciting.
go through the first
Hi, Ms.
question.
Professor Rosengrantz. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go through the first question. Which type of video should they put long list keywords in? Main video, or on listing, or ads video?
Great question. So which type of video should we put long? And I assume it would be like long tail keywords in main video, on listing, or ads video. Okay, so yeah, so the whole thing with the keywords and that keyword, putting the keywords in the videos, that's all for the sponsored brands video ads. So sponsored brands video ads specifically, that's the one type of it. So you don't have to worry about the listing video as much. So I can actually go into what the listing video should be doing, which is I haven't really gone into that yet. So everything we talked about with that whole keyword strategy, that is for sponsored brands video ads specifically. So you want to write that down if you're not familiar with that language, because that's a very specific ad type. It's the only ad type that's really video and keyword driven, basically. So
okay, good. Well, then I guess you can stay tuned. Next question, I guess this is from your professor. Have you made videos for books sold on Amazon? If so, what insights can you share?
That's a great question. Books, the short answer to that is actually we haven't made a lot of book videos. Books is an interesting category because I've rarely seen a video for books. I think video would be effective for books. I think that the types of videos that would be effective for books would be like either a review video. So I would say that people that have actually read the book and can give a review on it, or something from the author where it's kind of the author explaining, here's what this book's about, here's what the intention is behind it, I hope you like it, just something to kind of introduce the book. A lot of the kinds of videos we make are about the product itself. And so, yeah, I think that obviously a book is a product, but it's people are more interested in the content inside. And so I think something like an explainer or a testimonial video from someone who's read it, I think would be a good way to use video for books.
Okay, great. The next one is from Ronald. He shot a couple of videos, but concerned about other brands or rights toward, I'm not quite sure what that means, showing up. One of the people had a shirt on with a Gap logo, people wearing obvious Nike shoes, or backgrounds showed a wall with artwork. Are there any rules around this?
Oh yeah, so you're talking about like logos in videos and like copyrighted logos. Yeah, it is best practices to either blur or cover. You don't want any trademark logos in your video ads. I think that is part of Amazon Ads guidelines. So sometimes when we run into that situation, you can always like put a little, you can either blur something. If you've already shot something and there are logos on it, you could throw a blur over it, or you could try to edit around it. But yeah, I would definitely take care of that first before uploading.
Okay. And he had one other question too. He says he doesn't have a fancy kitchen to use for one of his kitchen products. So can he use his low-end kitchen background, or will that be detrimental to the quality of the product?
That's a great question. I think that it does matter. I think that aesthetic matters. And so if you're going to film your product, you want the frame, and also it doesn't mean that the kitchen itself needs to be beautiful, but just what's in the rectangle of the video, right? So even in a kitchen that's maybe not beautiful, you could probably find angles in the kitchen that don't look bad. I think you can kind of make lemonade out of almost any location. I think that maybe if you don't feel like your kitchen looks amazing, then just find an angle that with the countertop and the wall or something like that that there's almost always a way to use a space to at least make it look not bad, right? And maybe I'd be happy to take a look at your kitchen and offer
and offer an upgrade.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'd be happy to send me a photo of your kitchen. I'll let you know what a good angle might be in there. I don't know.
All right, great. Well, those are all the questions so far. So if you want to keep going.
Sure. Yeah, so I've got, so let me talk about the listing video, because I think that did come up. The listing video did come. Oh, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll show you a couple examples here. And you are watching this in real time. So you're watching me search for a video. I will show you an explainer video, and I will show you a sizzle video. So you can kind of see these two different styles. So here is a sizzle video for a speaker. This is a very, very simple video. But this would be a video where we're really digging into the aesthetic of the product. And obviously, and this is a speaker. The speaker is both aesthetic. This is in the middle of the product utility spectrum. It looks cool, but it also sounds great. So, but this is a great example of a sizzle video where we're really just, we're communicating about the product, but we're also just showing it off in a really interesting visual way. Oh, I almost made it to the end there. Can you guys hear the audio, by the way?
A little bit. It's a little muffled.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if audio is streaming or not, but so that's kind of a sizzle video. And then on the other side, you would have like an explainer video, which would be more like, trying to think of a good explainer video. A good one would be like this. So, where there's actually a person kind of explaining the video. And this is kind of a blend of things. And this is a longer, these are videos that would go more on the listing page. Actually, I'll show you the Stream TV edit version, Which version will I show you?
While you're talking with the listings, why are product listing page videos essential for sellers?
Yeah, kind of like I mentioned earlier, you just get that 9.7% lift according to Amazon. Also because your studies show like at least 80% of your customers, they want to learn about your products and services through a video. If there's a video and they want to learn about your product, they want to watch that video. When they're on your listing page. So yeah, let's kind of go back to and talk about that customer journey a little bit. So when someone's typing in the name of your product and they see that ad, they're looking for something. What that ad needs to do is it needs to just communicate you found the thing you're looking for. You're searching for this thing. That video ad, the Sponsored Brands video ad, needs to demonstrate that you have found what you're looking for, and that video ad demonstrates that. It's short. We recommend like 10 seconds, not very long, very punchy, designed to kind of loop and repeat, things like that. Then let's say you get that click. They clicked on the ad. Now they're on your page. So they chose your search result over everything else, which means they're on your page and they want to buy your product like right now. Like you're in like the hottest moment of their buying journey where they clicked on your product page. So now what that page needs to do overall is it needs to tip them over the finish line, get them to the buy box. So what role does the video have to play with that? The video needs to communicate everything there is to communicate about the product. So the video needs to tell all the features and benefits. It needs to clear up any potential confusion. It basically just needs to validate that this product has all of the features and benefits and specifications that they care about. So that's really the most important thing about that video. It really doesn't need to be entertaining. I mean, it can be, but that's not what's going to push people over the edge. It just needs to be really, really clear that this product has all the things that you hope it has. So but the ad doesn't need to do that, because for the ad to do that would be much too long. The ad should not educate people. The listing page video should educate people. And I think that's a big insight that needs to be said. That's one of the mistakes we see on the ad side. People are trying to educate about the product in the ad, but the problem is that's not the place to do the educating, because you're doing so is at the expense of doing what it takes to just get that click. You almost want to withhold information in the ad and save it for the listing video, because it's like a trailer for your product, right? You don't want to give away the whole plot in a trailer. You just want to intrigue them enough and go, this is the product I'm looking for. We find that shorter, more brief content is more effective than really substantial content on the ad side. And then so another way to think about it is, yeah, like the ad should kind of be a short trailer for the full length product listing page video. So you can usually make your ad out of the footage that you have on the listing video, and just kind of test different iterations of that, different shorter edits of that, focusing on different opening shots, opening text, opening features, things like that. So that's another way to be efficient about getting all this content made is you can kind of just make the iterations that you need for these different keyword sets from your in the process of just making your main listing video too. But so that's kind of the difference between those two videos, is they're very different moments in the buying journey, basically. So
we do have a question, and I don't know if you'll get to it now or later, but someone asked if you could show us where on the Amazon video entry we add the keywords.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I'm interested too if it's the same as you're talking about actually building the campaigns out essentially on the Amazon ads side. So that's a whole other side that and that's actually not something we personally do. Like we create the content. The sellers we work with, they either do the campaigns themselves or they have an agency that does the campaigns for them. Either way, we kind of round table it with those people. So that's
Okay.
that's not my area of expertise, is actually building the campaigns, but I do know where to do it. You do it in the Amazon ads kind of that has like a self-serve has a self-serve type of a process where you upload your video, you select all your keywords, you build your campaigns out. So that's where that happens is, Amazon Ads, dashboard basically.
Okay. Okay. One other question is, how long typically should the sponsored brand video be, and how long should the listing video be? Is a voiceover a good idea for either video type?
This is a great question. Okay, so here's what so Amazon sponsored brands videos lets you upload, I think it's between 6 and 45 seconds. We recommend approximately 10 seconds for an ad, maybe a little more, 10 to 15 at most. We recommend short, like I said, 3 or 4 shots, design it to loop. So maybe that opening shot is like opening shot and then feature benefit, feature benefit, feature benefit, and then like a good product hero shot loop. That's the short answer of what we think and what we see all the top brands doing right now and what we think is really effective. Listing page videos can be as long as you need them to be to communicate everything there is to communicate about the product. So that's how I would answer that. It doesn't matter if that's 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. It doesn't matter how long that listing video needs to be, but you want to do that in as short of a time as you can do it to keep it engaging. But some products, there's just a lot to talk about. Some products really need you have to ask basically, what are some of the objections that someone might have? Like, why isn't someone just hitting buy right now? They're on my listing page. Why aren't they hitting buy? What do they need to know? For some products, it's like how to assemble the thing, right? Because some people might go, hey, I want to buy this, like dresser or whatever, but am I going to be able to put this thing together? I don't know. So like sometimes the thing that they need to know is how to put it together or validate that they are not going to have a problem putting this thing together. Maybe that takes a little bit to explain. So the listing page video needs to do whatever it needs to do to clear up any potential objections, all questions, anything that your customers really care about. Another good thing is like, why are people returning your products? So if people are returning your products, can something in the video preemptively address return issues? That might be a good thing to think through when you're thinking about what should this video say. If there's a classic reason that your products are being returned a lot, there's probably something that isn't that could be more thoroughly communicated in that buying process, and the video is a great place to do that too. So that's my answer on length is about 10 seconds for your ad, for your sponsored brands video ads, maybe 15 if but no more than that. Product listing page videos, go crazy. It doesn't really matter as long as it's engaging and as long as it feels nice and tight through the edit and it doesn't get boring. Your customers want to learn about the product at that stage. If they're opting in to watch it, so you don't have to worry about being short. But I would be really thoughtful about being extremely clear and helpful and thorough with that. So,
and what about voiceovers?
And voiceovers, great question. Okay, sponsored brands video ads need to work. So the ad side needs to work without audio. So I would not put any voiceover in your ads. And I would not have an ad where you have a person talking and explaining, because we know that people aren't going to watch with ads. Here's kind of here's the general rule. If someone is opting in to watch your video, which means is the ad being served to them kind of without their like consent, I guess? Like, is the ad being served to them like a sponsored brands video ad, where they're not trying to watch a video, the ad shows up. In those cases, make sure there's no, it works just as well without audio. The visuals and the text work. If it's a video they are opting in to watch, so that is like on the listing page, they clicked on the video, they're like, I want to watch this video. If they're opting in to watch it, then they're probably happy to watch it with audio on for the most part. So I think you can do voiceover, and I'll show you some examples of those too. I think voiceover on listing page videos or a person talking, that is a good move, because they already want to watch the video. And now if it's like, oh, I have to turn the audio on, that's even more engagement. You're actually earning more mind share by having them listen, not just watch. And they're probably willing to do that if they know they have to. If the video that, like this video I could show you here, they're gonna unmute this video because there's something to hear. They can tell there's a person talking. So people are willing to do that when it's a video they opt into. So that's the same with another good example would be a video on like a Premium A Plus video is the same way. They're opting into that. A video that is on like YouTube, like an organic YouTube video, anything like that, audio is great. Anything that's like an ad where it's just going to show up, like a sponsored display ad is another one. Where the only exception to that would be streaming TV. So streaming TV, even though they're not opting into those ads, people do watch TV with the sound on. So you can definitely use voiceover on streaming TV as well. That's a great question. And I can show this one real quick. So you can kind of see, so this is like a listing page video that we did. This is the streaming TV version that we did. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, I'll show this one, but there's a little caveat here, but.
Even though our daily cleansing routines are super important when it comes to the health of our skin, we realized there was a need for a product that goes even deeper. So we created Essia. The high-tech beauty tool is a game changer when it comes to purifying. With multiple modes and 30,000 vibrations per minute, this ultrasonic wand loosens trapped residue and brings it to the surface, letting your pores breathe. The best part is you can actually see it working in real time. No waiting, just instant gratification that happens as you extract debris from under the skin with the tip of the scrubber. After this next level at-home treatment, your skin will be happier, healthier, and beautifully radiant.
So the only caveat for that is the one for Amazon on the listing page has a lot of text in it. So I have another version that has features and benefits text, which you definitely want to be communicating with text on these videos, not just voiceover. So I pulled up the wrong one here. So, but you kind of get the idea of like, that's kind of an explainer video. And here's a video with voiceover that I can share as well. Let's see. Could you hear that one a little better?
Yes.
I kind of cranked the volume up on the
Yeah, we could hear that better.
Okay. Here's a great example of voiceover video that we did too. And this one also has features and benefits text on screen, which is really helpful. So this is for like nursing moms, kind of a heating pack.
Being a new mom is so fulfilling, but it's not without its challenges. And we get that. NatraCure's maternity products are designed to make your early days of nurturing a whole lot more comfortable. Our breastfeeding relief pad with moist heat therapy features Smart Bee technology to help increase milk flow for your newborn while decreasing discomfort for you. The breastfeeding relief pad with cold therapy includes our renowned Smart Gel to ease everyday nursing soreness. And the postpartum gel pack helps soothe the discomfort following delivery with targeted cold therapy, and its soft bamboo and cotton fabric is gentle against sensitive skin. You and your baby can get the happy and healthy start you deserve with a little extra help from NatraCure, where your comfort is our goal.
So that one is great because it is also a lifestyle video. So that's another aspect of a video to think about is there's kind of two ways to approach a product video. One is to be very product centric, which is just to like kind of like the first video with the speaker. We're not showing that thing by a pool with a party going on or anything like that. We're just showing it. We're in a studio. It's very product centric. That works especially when you are trying to keep costs low on production and when you're really trying to like communicate the features and benefits. The lifestyle around the product, if you have high ticket products or you have products that you really want to differentiate and elevate your brand, which is another big topic here is the lifestyle videos are great. So like there's two things that videos kind of do. One is just like direct response sales. Like I'm just going to create a video that's going to help move the customer down the funnel and get the sale. and that's great. And that is most of the heavy lift of what your videos on Amazon are going to do. The other thing that video does really, really well is create brand emotions and like earn mind share and develop brand as well. And it's going to increasingly become one of the big differentiators that sellers have. And that's because, you know, the more time that goes on, you're going to have other people kind of copying your products, or like the space is going to get more and more crowded. Brand is going to be one of the last big differentiators, right? And so a lot of your competitors, especially if they're trying to like race to the bottom with you on price, a lot of the sellers we talk to have that situation where there's other sellers that are kind of like, you know, taking their market share because they're just like on a race to the bottom with price. That's not a fun game to play. So the reverse Uno card of that is like developing brand. And you're like, yeah, let those guys race to the bottom. I'm going to be the premium version. I'm going to be the version that people emotionally resonate with. I mean, that's basically what Nike does. That's what all these big brands do. Is Nike's about so much more than shoes. It's about, you know, achieving greatness. It's about being a champion. It's about whatever it's about, right? There's all these brand messaging points. And so kind of having your brand, developing your brand out is something that a lot of sellers should take more seriously, because it really provides a lot of security long-term. They're not just buying a product. It's more than a commodity. It's actually a brand that they care about. And that does take an investment into content that goes beyond just getting the sale. It's creating content that's actually earning a place in their mind, and it's earning an emotional place in their mind. And they're likely to return to those products. They're likely to see what else you're selling. You're building a true customer base and a true fan base. That what it takes to do that. Video is one of the most powerful tools to do that digitally. So that's the other thing I would think about with your content, is not just creating content that's gonna, you know, hey, we just need an ad to just like sell more product. That is the best direct response play. The level above that is building out your brand, and that does take an investment. And it's something that, but it's something that if you're a seller that's, you know, getting up to, you know, you're over $1 million a year, you're getting to 5 million, you're getting to 10 million. A lot of sellers, you know, are in that boat. That's the time to start thinking about really carving out your brand voice and starting to become apples to oranges to everything else in that way too. So these videos are great for that. And then on your storefront, that's because the other thing you can do is you can actually drive sponsored brands video ads, not to a particular product, but as of, I think, the last year or so, you can now drive that traffic to your storefront, which is an interesting move, especially if that keyword set is not specific to a particular product, but it's more kind of about a product category. It might make more sense to send people to a storefront page instead of a particular product. So those videos might make sense to be more brand centric as well, and kind of show a whole product line instead of just one product, depending on that keyword set. So hopefully that makes sense. Like that's, I wanted to kind of bring up the importance of brand with video, and there's a whole brand play on Amazon that I think is going to increasingly become important for sellers over the next, you know, 3 to 5 years as the space just continues to become crowded. How can you actually stand out and be interesting, not just move more product with content, but how can you actually give more personality to your brand in a way that is going to be memorable? Video is by far the best way to do that. So
I don't see any questions at this point.
yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share? I am curious too, you know, with Amazon ads, can you look at Amazon ads performance data, and can that be used to improve your video ads?
Yeah, definitely. So performance, so this is a little more of an advanced topic, but I think this is something really important too, is if you're running your ads for a while, there are a lot of things, and I can pull up some slides about this one too. There's a lot of things that your data tells you about how well your videos are performing. So, here's an interesting one. So here's, I guess you can all see this. So these are all of the performance metrics that Amazon gives us about our about our ads in general, all these. The ones that I've highlighted actually tell you really important stuff about your the performance of your video ads and the anatomy of your video as well. So a good example is something that a lot of people don't know. Everyone knows what impressions are. Impressions are just how many times your ad is showing up in search results, like on the search result page. But a lot of people don't know that there's something called viewable impressions. And that's actually like, did the video show up on your screen, on the customer's screen for more than 2 seconds? So if you got an impression, but that impression, they never scrolled down to see it, does that impression really even matter? Not so much, right? Or not at all, right? So a viewable impression is at least 50% of your video is viewable on your customer screen for at least 2 seconds. So when you divide viewable impressions by impressions, that's called view through rate. So a view through rate is what percentage of your impressions are actually getting seen. So what if you have a really high view through rate? That means that customers are scrolling down the search result page and they're stopping and they're going, and there's something about that opening shot is really hooking them to your video. If you have a really low view through rate, it's probably the opposite. They're probably, if they are scrolling down, they're probably scrolling right past it, or they're bouncing. It's not grabbing them. So what you actually have to do is you have to grab their attention in the first like nanosecond. Like you have to grab their attention. It's like less than a second. You have less than a second to actually grab their attention. And there's a lot of ways of doing that. And it needs to be it needs to be relevant to the search results. It needs to be eye candy. So if it's a video that involves food is a great way of getting people's attention. Beautiful faces, dramatic lighting, beautiful landscapes, right? These are all like things that kind of appeal to our kind of lower brainstem of our attention. So the first tiny bit, like the first less than a second, needs to appeal to their subconscious brain. Then their conscious brain's coming online and saying, why am I watching this? What is this? So the next like 2 to 3 seconds needs to demonstrate to them, this is a video worth sticking around for and watching because this is what you're looking for. So it's like, and then after that, so it's like every video is like a funnel. And what you want to do is think about, did I get them past the first second by having a good hook? Did I get them to keep watching in the next 3 to 5 seconds with, so like by demonstrating relevance to their search? Then did I hold them through to the end because the editing is really tight and it doesn't get boring and it's engaging? And is it clear enough that they click through and they understand what they're clicking for and what they're clicking on? So data tells us, did they watch the first couple seconds? It also tells us conversion rates, like once they got on the page, did they buy after watching that ad? It also tells us, did they make it past the 25% mark, the 50% mark, the 75% mark? Amazon tells us all of that. So there is, and this is what I spoke about on Prosper Show a couple of weeks ago. I spent a whole hour going into each type of data and what you can learn from that data, and then how to correct your video or iterate your video based on that feedback. So that could be like a whole other webinar we could do at some point. That's because it is a lot to go into and it's a little bit of a deeper dive. But if people really want to understand, like really take video seriously, this is what you have to do. And I think that what we see right now on Amazon is we don't see people taking video seriously. I think we see people just posting videos and crossing their fingers, and then if it doesn't work, they go, well, I guess video ads are not a good use of money. The problem is they're a great use, and your competitors are going to figure out how to iterate their videos to be more effective. And so I think that that's what I'm really excited about. Why I'm still doing this after like 8 years is I still feel like there's so much further to go with sellers to really help them get their content figured out to be effective. It's like conversion rate optimization, right? Like when you make a web page, you don't just make one version of the web page and then never go back to it again. You launch your web page and then you measure stuff, and then you see, is it working? Could it be improved? And then you iterate that web page and you split test your way to better and better performance. And I think that is what all sellers should be doing with all of their content, especially their video content, because it is such a big investment. So So that I could go into more data here too. And we do have another question, I guess. So
Yeah, we do have a question. I didn't know if we wanted to save that till the very end. We're all,
Yeah,
we
since
have a
that's
few more
pricing.
minutes about pricing, was
Yeah.
a question.
Right.
Did you want to wait till the end?
we could, yeah, I could say that one to the end, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Does AI play in video marketing on Amazon?
Yes. So AI there's a lot of ways of using AI, just kind of like everything today. AI has a role to play in literally everything. And there are lots of ways that we recommend people use AI in this process. One way to use AI, and I think I have a slide about this, which is really cool. So let me show you something cool. So let's say you shot a bunch of videos. We were just talking about opening hooks, right? Here's a very cool tip that I think people would be excited to know about. So this is a secret little, very advanced AI tool that's free that everybody can use and nobody even knows it exists. So let's say you shoot a bunch of videos of your products and you're trying to say, what's the best opening shot to use? What's going to get the most attention? YouTube has a secret little AI tool that is really powerful. So what you do is let's say you film a bunch of raw footage of your product. You just film a bunch of footage. You haven't even started editing anything yet, right? You shoot a bunch of footage of your products. Drop all that footage into a big timeline. Export all that footage into one big video. So let's say it's it's all your raw footage in one. We call it a string out. So string out all your footage in one big video. Upload it to YouTube, but you don't have to publish it. Just upload it. Like start the uploading process. Down here, it's going to look through all of your footage and it's going to give you 3 thumbnails. And those 3, it has identified the top 3 most eye-catching frames of your video for you. And it gives you because YouTube wants one of these thumbnails to be your thumbnail because YouTube wants your video to get a lot of views. And they're not even super upfront about that that's what this is, but that's absolutely what it is. You can try it. And you notice that it's always going to pick, and the way that it knows how to do this is there's something called AI attention heat maps. So here's another website called Zyro, I guess it's called. So this is a video we shot and we wanted to know like what was the most effective opening shot. So AI can actually, you can basically upload, I did this manually. I was like, here's 3 that I think could be good, right? So here's kind of a more manual way to do it. And it gives you this heat map. And like, the more like red the color is, the more that's where the most attention is. So of these 3, the one on the right has it's like red. It turns out that even though video is about visuals, it turns out that text in videos is one of the most eye-catching things, especially if that text is moving, right? And in this shot too, it's like it's a very visually like moving shot with text in it. And also we know that human eyes are one of the most eye-catching things for our subconscious brains really lock onto eyes. So this one was the winner. We got the text and the eyes. And so this is one really cool way of using AI. The other thing that we probably don't have time to go into is using AI to analyze thousands of keywords and find search intent trends. And that's something that I can talk about if we do another one of these. Is how to use AI to scrub through thousands of your keywords and find emergent search trends and a lot of times there's unexpected ones that us and even the sellers we work with didn't realize are in there, where, oh wait, this is actually what people this is the problem they're trying to solve when they search for this product. So let's bundle those categories together. Let's create the perfect video to appeal to that search intent, kind of like I talked about earlier. AI can help reveal those in a way that would take forever if you're scrubbing through and trying to do that manually. So I can go more into that at some point. So
yeah, this is really informative, Rob. I really appreciate it. We're almost out of time. Is there any, final points you want to add, Rob, or do we have any other questions? And then we can talk pricing then, if that's it.
Yeah. That's kind of all I got. I'm happy to answer
really great.
questions real quick. So yeah, so I showed you kind of I actually ended up kind of showing a high and a low for like, if you're asking like about our services. So we are we charge by the filming day. So in a filming day, we usually can film between 5 and 10 products in the styles that I showed you. So if you take a look at the speaker video, the short answer is when you fill up a filming day with products for us to film, each video at the quality that I showed ends up hashing out to $2,000, $1,000, sometimes under $1,000. And so that's the unit cost gets quite good for that production quality. We've got crews that are all, they know what they're doing with the lighting and the shooting and everything. So they're all film school grads. So you've got that high, our goal is to get each product video like under $1,000. And so that's the next step would be to chat with someone about their product line. We would make recommendations about here's how we plan a filming day out. The filming day includes all the script writing. We do all the script writing for you. We do all the content strategy and all the research I'm talking about for your products. We look at your keywords. We look at your customer reviews, your performance data. We feed all that in to write like really best practices scripts for you. And then for all the products on that day. And then we also do all the editing, like all of that's included in that day. We'll do a sponsor brands video and a listing page video for you in that price. Most filming days end up somewhere between, I know this is a huge range, but most filming days are somewhere between 5,000 and 15,000 for the day. But then when you divide that by 5 products, 10 products, it becomes, we have a pretty unbeatable offer for clients that have a catalog of products and they need to get all that stuff out. We can also talk about like doing one-off videos as well, but that's probably the best way to talk about our pricing. So
all right, great. Someone had asked that they really like that PowerPoint. It seems really informative. I wonder if we could maybe share that with the attendees as well later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If someone wants to I can give my email, and if they want to like email me about
Okay.
it, I'll email them the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to, if you want, you could put your email in the chat there.
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
question.
Let me see. Yeah, that's I just posted my email. I also have,
Okay.
I could also post in here my personal Calendly link.
Okay.
And what I usually like to do too, so anyone can just like book a call with me on that link too. And I'll also be given like a 10% discount
Okay.
on stuff if someone was in this webinar. That's usually what I like to do.
Perfect. We'll email all the attendees with the recording and the coupon codes as well.
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
That
Well,
sounds
thanks.
great. Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. It was great. I appreciate you taking the time to talk about videos, and I appreciate all of those that attended the webinar today.
Yeah.
Y'all
Thanks.
have a great day.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.